Rankins, or not Rankins, excuse me, Murphy and McKinley, what's your plans for them this week?
Practice, see where it goes from there.
Is there any shot that they could play Sunday, or you still need it?
Good. We got to see him practice.
Do you expect Trey Hendrickson to play on Sunday?
We'll just keep taking it day to day, but things have been positive.
We practice today.
We'll just see where he's at.
Is stinger still the best way to describe that injury?
I think so. Yeah, it's painful, but he's tough, and so we'll see where he goes.
What's the biggest challenge with this year's Baltimore team compared to maybe previous ones? What makes this week unique and this team unique compared to previous matchups we've had?
They're sound on defense. They're always good on special teams. They're, offensively, they got a great run game. They got a great pass game. A lot of talented players. They're put in good positions, so challenging.
What are the stakes like? Going first divisional game against a team that you know is a contender to win division. How big are the stakes for you all going into this week?
I don't look at it that way. It just, every game is important for us, and so this is the next one. It's obviously looking for our first home win divisional game, so there's certainly a lot to play for in week 5 here.
I assume Trey, being a veteran, wouldn't necessarily have to practice to play. Is that fair?
Yeah, correct.
Zach, acknowledging what happened in the division last year, how do you feel like your team is maybe better equipped to handle the North this year than what was last year?
I think our quarterback being back helps. That goes a long way for it, and so, again, this division has always been about turnover battles every time you're in these games. It really is as simple as that. And so a lot of times these aren't major possession games, big possession games, so the turnovers become critical. And, we always expect to get our best from our players. We know the opponent, they know us. So exciting week for us.
Is there a style that you have to be able to play, or is there, is that just depending on team and game plan to win this division? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you have to be physical? I mean, obviously you do, but...
You do. Yep. I think that's one thing you find out having been in this division for a good number of years now, that maybe I didn't quite understand as much when I got here. And so that is a big part of it. I think, we've seen in the past other divisions that come play this division see that when they walk away from it, that's something they feel. And again, our players are battle tested, been through this before, so they know how physical and intense these games will be.
When you say be physical, we hear that all the time. Does that start in the trenches? Does that start?
Yeah. It's all 11 on both sides of the ball. It really does. It ramps up, just the style of play when you face these teams that there's been big investments up front on both sides. There's also features great skill players, all over the map too, every time you get in these matchups. So, there's just a lot of good football players walk on the field, when these divisional games occur.
How's the development of Kyle Hamilton, how he's kind of progressed, made that defense even more imposing than maybe it was?
Tremendous player, and does a lot for them. So they clearly think highly of him with the amount of responsibility they put on his plate, and I'd say he answers the bell.
Obviously, Zach, a new coordinator on defense for them. How have you watched them evolve through 4 weeks? And obviously, they probably played their best game against Buffalo.
Yeah, they've got they played good football before Buffalo, but they've got a lot of players returning. They've got some players they've started to integrate into their defense. And so again, you watch the tape. It's a lot of the same guys doing a lot of the same things, and then they've added a couple pieces in there, some young players, some veterans. So you can tell. I mean, the coordinator's been there obviously a number of years, so he came up in that system, and so I'm sure there's ways that they evolve, but a lot of similarities that we've seen over the years as well.
You often use the term explosive as how you want your offensive identity to be here with the players that you have. On the defensive side of the ball, when you and Lou in the offseason go through your personnel and what you want your plan to be for the upcoming season, what do you feel like you see your Bengals defense to be?
Well, we always want to be tough. We always been relentless. When you turn on a tape, it's relentless effort. And so that carries over to stopping the run, pass rush, coverage down the field. I think that covers a lot of ground when you're talking about the defense.
How would you characterize speed in terms of prioritizing what you want to see in your defense?
Well, it's certainly a part of it, and there's a physicality, there's a speed. If you can find the biggest, fastest human being, put them out there, you know what I mean? So there's a balance. I think we've got a fair amount of all the different things that I think fit into to a good style of defense, and smart players as well. That factors in as well. Being able to diagnose a play before it even happens and put yourself and others in position to where maybe you don't have to use the 2 extra steps of speed to get yourself in that position because you've got the awareness and the recognition to be able to play a little bit calmer and a little bit faster with the speed you got.
How are BJ and Sheldon doing?
Coming along. Yeah. We'll see where the week goes. Again, I've said BJ's a little bit further along than Sheldon, but encouraged, so we'll see where the week goes with both those guys.
Joe said he expected to be sore after getting stepped on. Is he all good?
He hasn't said anything to me about it, but he may have a different answer for you.
Ravens have Pro Bowl players at every level of their defense. Is it the defense accentuating them? Is it them making the defense better? It's a combination of both. I mean, do they do such a great job of drafting people that fit them so well?
I mean, when you got great players that believe in what they're doing, and they communicate really well, you can see that. And so they've got time on task, playing together, playing within the system. Relatively healthy group. They've got a couple guys, on the injured list. But so, again, the time on the task when you got smart players and they got length, they got speed. So it's a good group. They play really well together.
With Burrow, the way he's playing, does it feel pretty much just like the way he was playing October, November, last year before he got hurt?
I do. I've got that same confidence, and I think he's got that confidence. The team's got that confidence in him, and that takes you a long way.
Zach, it's never perfect, but what do you love about what the offense is doing right now?
What was the first part of that?
Saying it's never perfect, you're going to watch film and see
yeah.
flaws always as a coach, but what do you love about what the offense is doing right now?
I think a lot of people are involved, so it's hard to key in on one area or one person because we're willing to involve every person that walks on the field. And, whether it's run or pass and trying to incorporate things a lot of different ways. We of course, are very hard on ourselves when we look at the plays. You probably look back at maybe 3 plays in that game that you left that stunted drives that could have led to more production there. So, again, we have a very high standard on both sides of our ball, and there's still a next step I think that we can take.
I know you talked a lot about Eric All, but it feels like a guy like that from the Big Ten and kind of what he's made of is just made for AFC North football. Yeah. How much better is your run game, is your attack, whatever it is, with him back there helping, blocking, doing what he does?
Well, he helps. I think that's the mentality of the tight end room, and Eric's a big part of that. I think when you have the ability to also expand in the passing game, that helps a lot of things when you're on the field. And so Eric brings a lot to the table and is willing to continue. He's very humble in his approach and willing to get better and willing to take coaching. And, in a lot of ways is bright-eyed like any rookie would be and does not walk around like I've made it. Quite the opposite, to be frank with you. It's I got to do better and there's more to do. And I think that's the right approach for him.
When you look at how y'all have brought Amarius along, what's been the biggest reason why he's developed as well as he has so early?
3 things. I think his own approach of, again, coming in and being willing to be coached and being able to coach himself and self-correct in some areas. I think Frank and Derek Frazier have done a great job with him, bringing him along. And I think that the guys on that offensive line, I mean, you look at the 4 other pieces have been there together to help bring him along too. And so, it's everybody involved, and Amarius is a big piece of that because of his willingness to continue to be coached, and I don't have all the answers, help me, and but also have the confidence as well that he can go out there and do it and block people and be effective in the run and the pass. And so there's a confidence there, but also the humbleness of I don't have all the answers and I want some help, and those guys have all been willing to help him.
When you talk about Mims, it was almost the same thing.
Yeah.
Humble, coachable.
Yep.
I mean,
That's why they're playing a lot of snaps for us.
yeah, and how not amazing, but how big is it to have 2 young guys that are able to do that, make that transition so quickly? I guess you guys had a pretty good handle on it when you drafted them.
You think you do. You don't really know until they walk in the building and you get a chance to be around them. And so, again, we got what we hoped we were getting from a character standpoint and from an effort and football intelligence. They're just 2 football players. That's the best way to describe them. They're football players. They like contact. They like practice. They like being in the trenches with their teammates, and those are great qualities to have with our rookies.
How have you seen,
Go ahead, James.
same page. How have you seen Ryan Rico grow since he got here?
He punts it far and high, and that's what I see. So, Darren could probably give you a more profound answer there. He's come in and been a great fit, confident since the day he walked in the door, carries himself the right way with that confidence, and it's one of those things that you didn't sign him at the draft or after the draft. So in a lot of ways, you're not looking at him as a rookie because a lot of times you're adding guys, in their second or third year at the stage we added him. So that's kind of how I look at him sometimes. I forget that he's a rookie because he doesn't carry himself that way. And so it's just, again, the timing of when we acquired him and how he presents himself make it feel like he's much farther along in his career. And obviously he's played very calmly and done an excellent job for us.
We've had some good punters, but he has a unique ability, if you're backed up, to really crush one. I mean, how significant is that to the team?
It's a big deal. You can think of playing Tennessee over the years, and the guy down there can flip the field on you, and you just feel that, like, man, we're just backed up the whole game. And so to be able to have that as a weapon, and then your coverage team believes in it. Okay, now we got to do our job. We got to get down there, and we have to make this play because he's gonna do his part. And so, and again, there's still a lot of experience to be had there. There's some things he's going to learn and has to experience, and he hasn't seen all the situations yet. And so, there's obviously a greenness that will come there, but I think he's so far so good, done an excellent job, and done all the things we need him to do.
One more injury, you think, how's Tanner Hudson?
Good, he's coming along as well. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realized self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.